All right, hello everyone. Hi. Thank you guys for attending the ZK House. This has been a 2-day event. It's been amazing. Yesterday, for those of you guys in attendance, nice to see familiar faces. Thank you guys for coming back. And we did the same sort of game yesterday. Just wanted to kind of get a show of hands. How many of you guys are from Bogotá? About the same number as yesterday. Okay, cool. How many of you guys are from South America? Nice. Actually, I think there were more South Americans yesterday than today. Okay. All right, what about North America? Wow, really making the trip. Europe? That's a really big presence. Okay, that was a lot more than yesterday. Asia? Also bigger than yesterday. Awesome. Cool. So ZK House, we've been focusing primarily on all things zero-knowledge proofs, talking about scalability, security, EVM, privacy, et cetera, et cetera. And, today, one of the focuses that are really near and dear to my heart, especially, with like Manta Network, right, is the privacy topic. And so I'm really excited that we're going to have a lot of panels discussing privacy today with a keynote with Edward Snowden. But when it comes to the topic of privacy, I think one of the things we're going to really start off with is on the regulatory and compliance side, because especially with a lot of the recent events that are happening, we all know that privacy, especially on Web3, is kind of being I guess targeted, right? There's definitely a narrative going on, and we just want to be able to be there to educate the space. I think there's a lot of misunderstandings of exactly what on-chain privacy looks like, what privacy in Web3 in general looks like, and so hopefully with today's conversations, we can kind of dispel those misnomers. But to begin, right, one of the first things I want to do is we wanted to introduce the Universal Privacy Alliance, the UPA. This started off as kind of a fun conversation between Manta, Secret, NIM, and a couple other privacy projects that kind of evolved into something that became a lot more serious. And I think like one of the core missions here today, right, is to make sure that we can think more broadly and kind of influence on the regulatory compliance side. And with that being said, right, I'll pass the mic over to Harry to give a brief introduction of the UPA.
So just to introduce myself, I'm Harry, the co-founder and CEO of NIM, and we met Manta, Secret, and then Michelle and Jared from Status, one of our oldest supporters, and there was a lot of interest post the events of the Tornado Cash OFAC sanctions in forming some sort of way that privacy projects and individuals that use privacy projects as well can defend themselves against possible, both just misunderstandings, but also, as we saw with the case of Tornado Cash, actual legal attacks on this emerging infrastructure. I think Michelle said it best. So we had these draft principles, still very draft, and we're still very open. So if you work for a privacy project or volunteer for one, you should get in touch immediately after this event. Same if you're just like an individual who's interested in the topic. We're still very much an open, fluid alliance, but we do firmly believe that individuals everywhere have the desire and the right to kind of live and act freely. And it's a universal right that should be embedded in our technical architecture. However, our technical infrastructure, I mean, we could make some comments about everyone's blockchain, but we won't, is very much under attack right now and having lots of problems. And we expect that this may possibly get worse. So our job is to reinforce the fundamental, the fundamental principle that code is a kind of speech. Even though it's written in some mathematical formula that maybe not everyone understands, I don't even understand everything going on with whatever version of Plonk is being used by most projects right now. Regardless, it's still a form of speech and should be protected by the same constitutional rights. And that banning code is the same as banning books. Taking code, removed from the internet, is the same as burning books. And this is a world that our ancestors fought for hundreds of years to get out of, and to basically have the right to speak and act freely and develop new kinds of code and infrastructure without having to ask for permission. Now, it's not the first time that we've had this problem. The original Webb had this problem. Before coming here, I used to work with Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the Webb. We formed a patent pool and a legal defense alliance called the Worldwide Web Consortium that brought together all of the original web companies. Unfortunately, their business model is surveillance for the most part, and we hope that the Universal Privacy Alliance can build a new kind of model for a post-surveillance society. So we'll be looking at discussing legal defense funds, common analysis, so forth and so on, after we hear from Snowden and our intervenants, Michelle and Jared. But I just want people to know that the alliance is very much open. We very much want you to get involved. It's super new, and now is the perfect time to reach out and ask a question to Snowden, to us, and to get involved. Thanks so much for attending.
So really quick logistics is just that. So we'll be doing the Snowden keynote, and then we'll be doing the UPA panel, and then we'll break for lunch so that everyone can have some of that delicious food cooking over there. I'm sure you could smell it better than I can. Different story. But yeah, so we'll just flow right into Snowden. I'll just go over to the mic check to make sure that we get everything set up.
All right, Edward, I hope you can see us. Welcome. We're all very happy and excited to see you here. You're in great company today. We're all technophiles. We're all self-selected privacy enthusiasts, and we're all builders. I think all of us are trying to do the right thing, but as far as I know, none of us are as brave as you are. We don't yet want to live in Russia. It's too cold. And so today, I think what we want to dig into is how do we do what we do, but also be practical about when it comes to the law and other issues that we may face as we try and build public goods for people to remain private and free. In terms of format specifically, we have about 45 minutes with Edward. He'll start with a few opening statements, and then Jared and I will do Q&A for about 30 minutes, and then we'll transition into 15 minutes of Q&A from the audience. So get your questions prepared.
Give us 1 second. We're bringing Snowden onto the live stream.
So just for people who don't know, this is Jared Hope. He was the founder of Status, an encrypted private messenger, involved in blockchain since 2010. One of NIM's early supporters, so we definitely owe him a lot of thanks, and a co-sponsor of this event, What NIM. And this is Michelle. Michelle was on the Zcash Open, ZOMG, Zcash board effectively for grants, and previously worked for Anchorage and many other interesting companies. So we're very lucky to have a really good group of people here. And the panel afterwards will also feature Electric Coin Company, that's Josh, Polygon, John from Aztec, and a bunch of other great people. So I just want everyone to know who's jumping on stage. Thanks so much.